Let me now cover the various attributes of the IMG or image tag. We've already reviewed width, height, and the alt attribute. Let me say a few more words about width and height. These stand for just that, the width and height of the images. The height can just be about anything as well as the width, but generally these will be less than the height and width of the browser. Here in this table of IMG Tag Attributes, the 4 here indicates if the attribute is defined in HTML4.01. 5 indicates if the attribute is defined in HTML5. Here we have the alt attribute. Value is text. This defines a short description of the image, defined in both HTML4 and 5. Source, value is URL, the URL of the image to display. The align attribute was deprecated in HTML 4.01 and has been completely unsupported in HTML5. Notice there's no 5 there. This specifies how to align the image according to surrounding text. I recommend using CSS instead. The border was also deprecated in HTML4 and is unsupported in HTML5. This defines a border around an image. Again, you want to use CSS instead. There is our height attribute. Then is the IS map. This is a value URL. Defines the image as a server-side image map. The long description attribute is also a URL value. This is a URL to a document that contains a longer description of the image. This is also not supported in HTML5. And then the last two are the use map. This is a URL value. It defines the image as a client-side image map, which I reviewed earlier. Look at the map tag and the area tags to figure out how this works. Here in our previous example, here is the map tag with the name attribute. Here's the area tag defining the area of the polygon that defines the image map here. And then the last attribute is the width attribute. The value is in pixels, and this sets the width of an image. So to summarize the differences between the attributes for HTML 4.01 and HTML5 is the align, border, H-space, and V-space attributes of the image element were deprecated in HTML 4.01 and are completely unsupported in HTML5. That'll then conclude this section of the tutorial on color and images. In this section, you've learned all about color on the web, how to create attractive color schemes, creating and naming graphics. You've learned about image resolution and image file formats that you want to use for web pages. You've also learned some techniques for getting your images to load faster, how to use background images and color your HTML page backgrounds. You've learned about image maps, the image tags, and we reviewed some of the more common image tag attributes. That takes us to the next section of the tutorial on links. We'll learn about the anchor element, absolute versus relative links, file structure and linking tips, the anchor tag attributes, and much, much more.